Hey YouTube, it's Frisky Dingo here doing another review video. Going back down the timeline, today we're looking at Microsoft E3 presentation. I had a real good time looking at Microsoft E3 presentation, especially with all the new generation games coming out. One of the big things that especially pointed out to me immediately was Forza Horizon 5. I'm already a big Forza Horizon 4 fan. To see the new game utilize new gen engine with the graphics, the elements and effects, the way you turn into the drift, just the environmental of the track already looks extremely well. I can't wait to play because honestly it's taking advantage of all of the new gen technology in graphics cards and consoles. I would play this game on a console. I would use my PC because I have a RTX 3070, so I want to be able to utilize all of my graphics card's capability while playing this game. What else would there be? Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was really big for me. I loved it, especially looking at, once again, new gen video games utilizing new gen technology. I know that's one of the big problems when we talk about the separation in generations. I know with the PlayStation 5, it came pretty early, especially with the tech from the PlayStation 4 not being any much different besides processing speed. That part right there, I think, which is what most people are looking for in these new games. I can say that getting to see most of these games utilize new gen technology is extremely exciting. You had Forza, you had Battlefield using new technology, you had Halo. So I'm pretty excited. I know I talk down a lot on FPS shooters, but one thing I can say is that this is the elite of FPS shooters. When you talk about Halo, you talk about Battlefield, you're talking about two games that are at the very top. So when they do a game, it's going to be polished to a certain extent. That's one thing I love to see. I don't really like to see a bunch of Left 4 Dead clones. That gets really annoying. Hopefully, with Microsoft, we could get a little bit of switch. I can see that they're looking for a new Left 4 Dead clone. But I don't think pushing all these different demo games during a presentation is really the smartest thing. So hopefully, we get to see more from Microsoft in the sense of new games. But I'm extremely happy with what we saw. And hopefully we could get into some more games. I mean, with the new Battlefield game, the one thing I love now that they worked on the multiplayer net capability, being able to play with so many players on one map. I extremely love that. Hearing that information, the new environmental play that you can use with your weaponry. It's more sophisticated, a little bit more tactical. You can't just spawn off. For example, one of the biggest problems in Battlefield 3 and 4 is that when you get next to a vehicle that's spawning, there's nothing you can do to stop someone from jumping in that vehicle or spawn camping. Now there's no more spawn camping around vehicles. That's perfect. I love that aspect. Hopefully we get some more news on that. And Halo Infinite, just from looking at the trailer, I love the storyline. I like how it's being rewritten. One of the most poignant parts of looking at that trailer was Master Chief going through that little space tunnel, him interacting with the dead Marines. I thought it was so beautiful to see him, grab the jackal and just swing and trash it, and then automatically get next to a Marine and then gently, caressingly place the Marine, respecting their body, grabbing the gun so ever softly, not to disturb the remains of the Marine that was there. I think those small little elements is what really brings the game overall of Halo into its fold. Especially with the Master Chief story and the way that they're rebooting it. They're trying to reboot it from a very basic sense. No more of the grandiose, him fighting in space against multi different alien races. It's still different alien races, which is ironic, but it's a linear story. So there's no more prophets. There's no more, ring of judgment, multiple powerful characters. As at this point, the only thing we know is that there's a renegade brute group. They're armored with other elites and renegades that are left over from the Covenant. So I think that storyline is going to reach really well. It did well in the books. I'm not a big fan of the book per se. I think that the novelization could have been done a little bit better. But other than that, I think that the storylines from the novelization were extremely good in the sense of coming out with a game during that time. It's really hard to adapt a book at the same time where new content is being generated. So you have to go with the good and the negative. So I think that this game is going to be extremely well. Just seeing how it's being rewritten. It's beautiful. I love all the little timepieces that they're using. Hopefully we get to see more. I know it's a rough battle with Halo Infinite, but even with the multiplayer attached, one thing I love to see now, once again, ingenuity. We talk about this all the time, getting to see game developers get the feel of creating something new in which fans can actually have fun with. No one wants to sit there and play the same repetitive game over and over. A lot of people complained about the Halo collection, but you can't really do much when you're redesigning games. It's not like a whole game being uplifted from the ground up. So the one thing I could say with the multiplayer, now you're able to traverse land. You're able to actually grab things instead of having to run up to it. You actually have the ability. I know a lot of people saying, oh, it's copying Doom. Well, guess what? Halo was copying Doom when they made the shotgun the only powerful gun that you could automatically pick up, right? Because in Doom started the super shotgun wave. So you really can't complain at this point if Doom is being ingenuitive, and Halo, once again, its own game is going to take a piece of that, because that's what FPS games do. So to see Halo use that type of whip mechanic, being able to transverse between the multiplayer platforms and the vehicles, I thought that was extremely cool. Even with the storyline, you get to grab a barrel and shoot it. I thought that was pretty cool. If you played Halo 3, Halo Reach, it doesn't matter. It's very clunky for you to get from a vehicle from one side of the map to the other side of the map to a vehicle and then into the middle of the map. It's very clunky, it's very slow, and it stops a lot of gameplay. So I'm extremely happy that we're finally getting to see a Halo game that's really extremely ingenuitive in the sense of the multiplayer moving forward in the competition of the field of what's going on right now. You have Battlefield, you have Doom with its own single player and multiplayer mode. You have these Fortnites, Valorants, Apex, Warzone. So you have to stay fresh in this environment. I think this is a really well additional move. Other than that, I think Microsoft E3 was pretty good for what it was worth. They came out with all the big bad stops of this year. They definitely showed us something new with new gameplay. So I'm extremely happy with that. I can't complain at all. And hopefully we get to see more of these games coming out within the next couple months. Get a couple more trailers. Hopefully that would be extremely fun. I would love to see that. And, like I said, even if we get nothing, I'm happy with E3 being able to show us just what we're going to see in the next couple of months. A lot of these games, their dates were for next year or this year. So we got something going on, even with Forza comes out the end of this year. So I think it's a good time for gamers. So we'll definitely see what else is going on out there. I'm going to make a video for Capcom E3. That one went under the chart a little bit. Won't have much to say for that one, but we'll definitely get into that one and whatever else is in gaming news. But hopefully, like I said, Halo Infinite, extremely happy for that one. I was happy to see the Forza game. Battlefield piqued my interest. There was a couple other games that I saw that I liked. I didn't really, go into it because I was really looking at the big name games, because that's what I'm looking for at this point. There was a couple other indie games that, was brought up, but I know a lot of people didn't really want to, go through the whole Microsoft indie situation, because a lot of times their indie games are just put into there and you can't really do nothing about it. But just to see that was good for me, just to see those type of games, and Square Enix having its presentation with E3. I thought that was pretty cool. Once again, hopefully we'll get into more videos that have more of these games, but I will check you guys in the next one.